check 1 2. Let me get my headphones on. Let's do a little quick check. In the checky bunch. Check 1 2.
Check 1 2.
All right, we're up and running. All right, so my name's Eddie Booze.
My name is Jared. I also musically go by Upwards.
Upwards, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, dude.
Because we're friends from like way back in the day.
Sometimes it trips me out to think at one point in life, the majority of people that knew me referred to me as Upwards, and now nobody does.
That's a trip.
It's like definitely a phase in life that was fun.
So, like, when did you take that name? Like, when did you kind of adopt that name, and like, how long did you have it for?
I started using it in early on when I used to freestyle battle rap people in backyard parties and stuff.
Yeah.
And one time I just thought, man, it's like so easy to make up words and because I would make up a lot of words that didn't make sense, but they would rhyme though,
Right.
And so I just started going by Upwards, but also because it's more of an ascension thing. It's like a double meaning. But yeah, early on, and then in 2009 I put out an album officially, and then was making music for maybe like 2-3 years, but then I stopped. I kind of put the halts on underground hip hop for a while there.
So did you release any albums or anything like that, like we can like point people to just for especially for that, like that era of time?
Yeah. So Upwards, I Am Music was a full studio production. Ringleader DJ Ace actually did all the production and everything. He's a very well-known guy. Very like radio worthy stuff. And then I also put out an album called DNA. It was a mixtape. And the whole concept behind that was I would go to like garages, basements, wherever someone had even the most bootleg setup and just record a song with them. So they would play me beats. I would write a verse on the spot. So would they. And then, because I like that gritty sound.
Sure.
I wanted someone to hear that and feel like I might be the only one that has access to this. It doesn't sound like they wanted to put it out, but something about it, the rawness speaks to me, So like I wanted the dichotomy in projects. But yeah, you could find it on YouTube. You could find a bunch of cool stuff.
Cool. Yeah. So, okay. So that's kind of how we got this project going. So we are Animal Planet. And
that's us.
Yeah, and so this is like podcast number 1. We're going to be talking about some of the songs we write, and we're going to be kind of releasing one of these every time we release a song, and we're going to try and release a video with each song too. I'd like to try and get that, if possible.
Yeah, I think the goal is, to put out a dope visual for the songs.
Sure.
Even if it's something, and the goal isn't to have them be the most produced visuals you've ever seen, but well thought out visuals and to match the music,
Right.
Like even if it's just us playing the music with some cool effects or some overlay images. But yeah, so that, and then this podcast, which is essentially a companion to the songs, because these songs have a lot of deep layers to them, and
sure.
Some people might listen to them and on the first take everything in that we're saying and understand it, but for people that maybe want some more in-depth meaning on maybe why we wrote the songs, what certain lines mean that could have multiple meanings, that's for you. These are for you. So, and also I just love talking about lyrics and meanings behind them and get deeper into things. So
sure.
We're stoked.
What why don't you fill them in on one of the other things that we're going to do as far as the book?
So the book. So once we've released all the songs, the original project consists of 10 songs. Every month we'll be putting out one song on the website, animalplanettunes.com, link in the description, as well as the video, the podcast companion. And then also every song has an original art piece. So shout out to Kassan, who's been doing the art pieces as of right now. And once we have all 10 of them out, we're going to put out a hardback book, a coffee table style book where it'll have all the lyrics. It will have the original art piece and then a QR code that will lead you to these companion podcasts. So you could just scan and you could listen to the podcast while you check out the art. You could listen to the songs, whatever the case may be. But yeah, so we just to make it even more all-encompassing of a project that you could really, consume in many ways and get more in depth with the track. So I'm excited.
Absolutely. So kind of going back to what Jared said about the other project, some of his other projects. So that's kind of how we got this going. I had never really heard much of your music before, and we were just friends from back in the day. But so how this kind of started was Jared hit me up, and he sent me a track, and he said, "Hey, this needs something. Can you do something with this? Like put something on it. Like there's some music. It he felt that it needed a little something else. So I took a listen to it, and while I liked the song, the thing that jumped out at me was how good your lyrics were. Talking about lyrics, talking about
appreciate it.
So that's exactly why I was like, okay, this is good. I was like, so I called Jared and I said, and I had done a hip hop project called At the Beach as well. So and you guys can go check that out as well. And as a full length album, and it's very organic. And I thought to myself when I heard Jared's stuff, I was like, man, we should do a track. So I hit Jared up. I was like, bro, why don't you come down to my place? Let's do a track. And he was like, yeah, for sure. Like, so we set it up. He came down and we did this song called Year of the Water Rabbit. And it took us, within 2 to 4 hours, we had, I sat down, I wrote the music, and while I was writing the music, Jared was sitting there just writing some just dope lyrics, and by the end of the day, we had the bulk of that song pretty much recorded, pretty much all the music, all the lyrics, the choruses, done, everything, and it was so fun, and we felt that there was kind of a spark there. It was like, it was something that was really good, and it was really unique, so we decided that we were going to start kind of getting together and doing more songs, and we kind of ended up deciding that we were just going to kind of put together a full album here, and so that's kind of how this started. That's kind of how we kind of came to be Animal Planet, and yeah, so we pretty much recorded all 10 of the songs have already been done, pretty much. We might do a couple of little filler things here and there, but for the most part, we decided on putting out the very first song, which is "We Just Want Elephants," and so yeah, why don't you go ahead and fill them in a little bit about the song?
Yeah, so this song, first the lead track that we're putting out off the project. The reason I personally like that choice was the whole album is very different.
Totally.
Like you talked about the first time that I came over, we made a song, which is my favorite way to make music. And just I talked a little bit about my musical history, but Eddie is someone I wanted to do music with for decades. Like growing up, all the dope bands you were a part of, the original music, all that good stuff. So when I talked to Eddie about making music, when I talked to you about it, I really wanted to do something different genre-wise.
Totally.
Because I was just doing underground hip-hop, and it's like I'm cooking the same kind of dishes. I want to see how versatile I can get in the kitchen with someone that's such a trained chef. Not to get too metaphor heavy here, but so when I came over and we did Year of the Water Dragon, it was my favorite way to make music. It's like, let's just start making a beat. I'll start writing some lyrics. We'll go from there.
So and organic.
It's rare to find writing partners that within a time frame can get something done.
Right.
Like a lot of people need time, and it's understandable, but I like to write something on the spot. I don't want to take more than an hour to compose a verse, because once you're in the zone, you're locked in, you just keep going. It's like that's the best kind of content I could personally do myself, at least.
Right.
So that's how I like to make music. But so after we made Year of the Water Dragon, I thought, I just want to see how much further we could take this as a concept, how many more genres we could break into, and how much we could do. So yeah, we made a couple more songs. I think We Just Want Elephants was maybe like the third one or so. But it just has the most, to me, mass appeal type sound. It's very funky. It's very poppy. Like the music, which is always done by you. It's just so catchy. It was one of the songs when I showed people, they would like mimic it back to me, like it's
yeah. It's very for sure.
And it's dope to hear him say it because the depth, which is really what this podcast is about, the depth of the lyrics. But like the Elephant Parade is so deep and so meaningful, like within the context of this song, and so it's dope to hear them say a catchy hook that also has so much meaning behind it. But yeah, so and this song also, I think it's just a great way to start off people's awareness of the project.
And I will say too, as far as that goes, like you feel like that this song has like the most mass appeal, and like there's something I really feel that is very valuable about this project, and that that I actually don't feel that way. I actually feel that way about a couple of the other songs. I feel like Duck Duck Goose, maybe Birds and Bees. Like I feel like those are like two of like the songs that I feel like have the most mass appeal. But then I show the project to like other people, you know, like people in my family, you know, a couple of my close friends, and they choose other songs. Like one of them likes like Funky Monkey, and like a couple of them like, you know what I mean? Like Year of the Water Dragon is actually a couple of people's favorites too. So it's like it kind of varies, you know, which I like that. I like that, like that there's not just obviously like one song out of them that like that's obviously, oh, that's their single and the rest are filler songs. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a legitimate, like we put a really a lot of thought into making each of these songs super catchy, super memorable, like good riffs, good hooks, and just super thoughtful and in-depth lyrics with with all of that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I agree. I think any of the songs on the album,
but there's so many
project.
But there's so many things about all the songs that I love. Like for me, like We Just Want Elephants. Obviously, other than content for me, like there's certain things about it, like the cowbell and like the claps for me, like just set that beat off for me. Like there's a few other things too about it, but like I like absolutely love this song, and I'm actually glad we chose this one to release first too.
Hell yeah! And by the way, if you haven't already checked out the music video, link in the description, but we did a dope music video, and for those that don't know, that's only the first 2 verses of the song. It has 4 verses in it. It was just a matter of, we wanted to put that out, let everyone check out the whole thing on the site. So
you can go to Spotify and hear the song, as well as the website as animalplanettunes.com. It's on every streaming service that you guys if you guys listen to music, you can hear it.
You can even use it in a story on Instagram. And you can tag us, which is dope.
There you go.
So let's get into the track here. So let's go into the first verse. The first verse is going to be me, and the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to say just a couple lines and kind of give the under meaning or whatever you would say, or the overall meaning of what I'm trying to say here. So it starts off with carnivals and kerosene. Don't think, just stare at the screen. So really, I'm just trying to set the tone with these 2 lines. It's really all about the distraction that's put out to, take you away from the real shit that's going on. Like when I was young, dude, they used to have to numb me before they pulled a tooth or something, and they would jiggle my lip while they were putting the needle in, so I couldn't feel the needle. It was that little distraction that allowed them to numb my whole face, So it's like, what are they doing to distract us? Carnivals represent the mass media, everything like that that goes on, and then kerosene is just an igniting fluid. So it's like just to show the perpetuate, like how intense it really is, And then don't think, just stare at the screen. They really don't want you thinking. They just want you looking at whatever screen is in front of you, whether it be your phone, your iPad, it don't matter. They're all the same at this point. They just want you consuming media. So the next line, cover your eyes for the scarier scenes. If it's funny, comment and share the link. So cover your eyes for the scarier scenes. If it gets too real, just don't look. Don't pay attention. If you don't pay attention, you don't get scared. No harm, no foul type shit. And if it's funny, comment and share the link, because it feels like nowadays YouTube videos, what started as people that were passionate about sharing an experience with others, is now a very regimented program on YouTube.
Sure.
There's like a guide on how to make successful YouTube videos, where it used to be about connection, now it's about monetization. So it always in the videos, comment and share the link, know? And it's just like, it's a goofy thing, because they'll say some horrific shit and then comment and share the link, So moving on. If your Wi-Fi is on, the internet's free. Just watch out for the new high interest fees. So just saying, hey, they even give you a free way to consume it. Just go on your Wi-Fi, go to Starbucks, it's all free, whatever.
They want that.
Yeah, they want that. But watch out for the new high interest fees. And I'm alluding early to something I'll say later. But what I mean is, your interest is really what they're preying on, and what they're charging you on. It's a price you pay. Correct. For your attention.
Yep.
So that's when I say, and not the whole number and decimal thing, because usually interest is like 2% a year on your credit card or something, but it's not a monetary thing here. And then if you can't see, better get your spectacles cleaned. Really just saying, if you don't get it, clean your glasses. It's right there in front of you. It's just a matter of you actually being able to see it, what they're doing. And then once intrusive becomes convenient, next is to dictate how you perceive it. So right now it feels intrusive for us. It's like we have a thought or we say something out loud, you get an ad on your phone and it's like, wow, that's so crazy. They're spying on me. But at some point it will be convenient. You'd be like, I'm so glad my phone listens to me so it could remind me of the things I want to buy, you know? And they might even charge you for that, which is the high interest fee I was talking about. They might say, hey, for $1 a month, we'll record everything you say and we'll just automatically fucking buy things off Amazon for you and send it to your house. And you'll be like, yeah, fuck yeah, I like that. Where now it feels intrusive, you know? So just to kind of go over that. And then who even reads the fine print agreements? We just want elephants and bags of peanuts. So the first allusion to the elephants there. But yeah, I mean, who cares about the fine term print or whatever it is? We just say accept all.
That always reminds.
Right?
That line reminds me of the South Park iPad episode, the Sentai Pad episode. You seen that?
I haven't.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, dude, Cartman's asked his mom for an iPad, and they're in like Target. I just real quick, and his mom says no, and he like starts screaming that his mom's fucking him. And like, so it's like,
my goodness,
they end up going on Dr. Phil, and he's like, my mom, she likes to fuck me, and she won't even kiss me before she fucks me.
South Park's wild, dude. Every time I watch it, I just think, damn, only South Park can get away with it.
It's so fucking funny. But yeah, no, it's about they didn't read the fine print, and now they have to become a human Sentai Pad. So it's one of the fucking best South Park episodes I've ever seen. It's hilarious.
It sounds Black Mirror-ish to a degree. Even,
it's yeah, absolutely. You know? It's wrong, dude. It's so wrong, but it's so funny, dude.
Dude, South Park's the best. So basically, don't worry about what's on the fine print. We're just here for entertainment, you know. Just entertain us, and we won't worry about anything else. Is essentially what's being said there, and then. What started in the Coliseums happens today in the sports arenas. They used to host events like men fighting lions and gladiator events, and that was all just a distraction. They just said, give them a circus and give them bread, and they won't question anything, right? So it's just saying it still goes on today with sports, with baseball, with basketball, whatever the case may be.
Anything to take your attention away from what's important.
Anything. People will dedicate their lives to being a fan of a sport and be horrible at everything else in life that's meaningful. You know, and just dedicate their life to like whatever the case may be. I don't want to single out any sports teams, you know, but no need to go out and watch from the bleachers. The Chip Day and Plan has a media feature. So that's just saying you don't got to go out there. Don't worry, because back in the day, you used to have to go to the Coliseum and get lucky enough to get in, to be distracted. But the way that the society and technology is going, they're going to put neural links in us, and that will have a media feature where you could just press a button and you're in the Coliseum. Yep. In a virtual reality. And then the song goes into the hook, which is, it's the Elephant Parade.
Actually, it goes into my verse.
Oh, my bad. You're right, dude. It goes into your verse.
It does two verses. This is a long song.
It is a long song.
Super long
There's a few songs where it's like this. So my apologies. Yeah, so let's go into your verse.
It's like a 4.5 minute song. So no, we go straight into that. And like what I like to do too is like when Jared starts writing, I listen to what Jared writes, and like I really kind of jump into like his frame of mind. A lot of times when I'm writing the music, I'm not really thinking about a topic, or sometimes there's been a few times that we've really discussed a topic before we started writing, but a lot of times Jared comes up with these, with things, and I like to listen. I like to really listen and take in what he's saying. And so I just kind of went and took his verse and kind of decided to kind of go right on top of that. So he talked about the Coliseums and the sports arenas. So I jump right into it and I say, parade the elephants and dance them all around. Coliseum show, obviously a show, you know what I'm saying? Give us the show, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Coliseum show, yes, please admit 3. Carnage for your thirsty heart, you pay to watch them bleed. So carnage for your thirsty heart, you pay to watch them bleed. Like everybody is... Like that's what we're all watching nowadays. Like that's what the news is. That's what everything you see in the media is, the worst of the worst. They don't want to show you the good things and how humanity's like coming together and like doing things that are communal and that are helping each other. It's like it's fight, 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 fight. It's like we want the blood. You know what I'm saying? Cheer, yell, scream. Everybody's on their feet. Now throw somebody to the wolves already. How about the lions or the bulls? Maybe you watch them duel. Get your snacks, get your gobbles, watch the spectacle of what they want to show us. It's a circus written for us. Now, again, remember what we were talking about here. They just want to keep our attention away from the important stuff. So whatever they can do to wave their hands and scream, and say, hey, look over here, so it continues. Look over here. This is what you want to see. Forget the truth before your eyes. Listen to me. They tell us the important stuff is all conspiracies. It's a dream. Pinch yourself into reality. Be, or not to be. Question everything you see. Hold it under scrutiny. Microscope the situation till you know for sure. Square in the square hole, circle in the scheme. So that whole part is very self-explanatory. There's not a lot of, as much as it addresses what we're talking about here, it's not extra deep. There's not a lot of double entendre there. You know what I'm saying? It really just literally says, look over here. This is what you want to see. Forget the truth before your eyes. Listen to me. And they've, the media today will literally say, don't believe your eyes. Listen to what we tell you instead. So that's kind of what the underlying theme of what's being talked about here is like, show us the elephants, give us the elephant parade. People don't really care about what's real, what's important, what's really happening. They just want to see the sideshow. You know what I'm saying? Just bring it, bring up the sideshow, blast off the fireworks, and we'll all be happy and we'll all be distracted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, go spend $1,000 on throwing rings at bottles, right? For a stuffed animal that costs 30 cents,
right?
It's like that's almost like life. Work your whole life, to throw rings at bottles for something that the value is like pennies to the dollar of what you've actually earned.
100%, 100%.
It's like the carnival, but no, I actually really like you were saying, your verse is. It almost feels like, welcome to the carnival. This is what it's all about. And the way that you just allow visuals for everything that we're talking about within the metaphor of literally the spectacle of a carnival is fucking amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You bring us into the actual event where my first verse is opening up the door possibly to what's going to happen. And then you're like, welcome welcome all.
Yeah, let's go see what's inside the show. You know what I'm saying?
It's almost like you're the first one they see when like you open the door for them and give them the guided intro to the carnival.
You see people getting thrown to the lions, getting thrown to the bulls, getting thrown to the wolves, dueling. You know what I mean? It's all that show. You know what I'm saying?
And then I love the line that everything that's important they tell you like is a conspiracy,
right?
Like the second that you start talking any rational shit, they're like, oh, that's a conspiracy theory.
100%.
So it's just it's great that's the cushion they use to create the reality they want us 100%. To be in. Like you're crazy if you think that's the
exactly.
case. You think there's poison in tap water? You're fucking nuts. Hell no. Have you tasted it? It's delicious. And then we get into the hook, sung as all of them are by Eddie here. So talk about the hook, man. Because they're written by you, of course, all of them.
So the hook, it's the elephant parade just for you. It's the elephant parade just for you. Yeah, that's the hook. I actually don't think there's another. Yeah, it just says that twice. It's the elephant parade just for you, and really, that's the theme. You know what I'm saying? It's just about. It's about the elephant parade. It's about like we just talked about, like the overarching, theme of this is to just watch the elephant parade and forget about the things that matter in your life. Forget about the things that are important in your life and spend that time doing that too. You know what I mean? Spend that time watching the elephants, because before you know it, 10, 20 years go by. One of the best things I ever did was get off Facebook.
Dude, I deleted my Facebook like 9 months ago, maybe. I thought about it for a few days afterwards, just because like muscle memory.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great, dude. At the end, all I wanted to do was argue with people that were trying to bait an argument. I'm sure.
Right,
You know?
dude. It can be a fairly toxic environment depending on who you're following and what you're following. But in general, it's just an example of part of the elephant parade.
Yeah.
Social media. That's just part of it. And when you start to actively remove yourself from it, because I think I remember in AA, I'm 14 years sober from alcohol. So I went to a few AA meetings back when I first started getting sober. But a couple of things, one thing I remember, there was like a saying that I remember. It was like, have the patience, or like have the strength to change the things you can, the patience to...
You're talking about the serenity prayer.
The serenity prayer. What is the serenity prayer again? Do you know it?
I think it's the strength to change the things I can, the patience for the things I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference. It's
right.
like something like that. Like it's one of those things where if you could fix it, don't worry. If you can't fix it, don't worry.
You can't fix social media, and you can't change social media. But you can choose to not be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? So that's really, you can choose to not be a part of the elephant parade.
Yeah, I got rat poison under my sink, but I choose not to ingest it.
Yeah.
It's like you don't have to subscribe to anything that doesn't better suit you and higher your quality of life.
Correct.
And like Facebook is the perfect example. I think there's a great interview with one of the guys that was early on in the development, and he won't even let his kids have it. Because all it does is it has this dopamine building rush thing, and then it creates everything into like, how many likes am I getting? And it makes you quantify your happiness through things like likes and shares, and it's like shit that don't matter, But yeah, and to me, man, the elephant parade is just such an eerie fucking hook, and like sonically, I love that the first.
Well, and two, and it's sad. It's a visually sad thing.
There's a lot of depth to it, and the fact that it's so. We were talking about it earlier. It's so catchy, but we're talking about the fucking like the Matrix here. To people that have never maybe untethered a little bit from the reality that's baseline given to you and zoomed out a little bit to really think about the truth behind things. Like this could be a song that really opens up your eyes and like, because we're really breaking down the matrix of how things are operating here, and like the distractions and what they really want from you and where things are going. And like the elephant parade, it couldn't be a more perfect, eerie, like, and then sonically, you have this break in the very last one where it's like, I can't do it. I can't do it justice. But just like on a sonic level, it's just so well sung.
Thanks, man.
It's like aggressive a little bit on the first couple, and then you have this break in the last part of the parade that's just like so pleasing to the ears.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
So I like, you always catchy stuff.
It's a fun hook, and that's something that, as far as like music goes, like as we're talking about writing the song, as far as music goes, there's a few things for me that I will always remember when I'm writing the song. Number one is I try to stay away from cliches as much as possible lyrically. I feel like it cheapens. The
spiritual miracle, as we call it in the MC world. Spiritual miracle on it.
And then one of the things I like to do is I like to write stuff that I would like to hear on the radio. So I'm not writing for me. I'm not writing for the musician. I'm writing for the audience member. I'm writing for like your average person who's gonna hear this and go and hear that hook and be like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" And then when they're done hearing it, sing it for a week. It'd be stuck in their head for a week. You know what I mean? That's like, I think about that stuff when I write these hooks. I think about what's gonna be group vocals. What's gonna make everyone in the crowd want to sing this back to us as we're singing this live. You know what I mean? Like, so when you hear a lot of our hooks, a lot of them are very crowd vocally, anthem-y type, they're fun, and the music, and for as gravy as the lyrics are getting, as far as deep and as raw as the lyrics are getting on some of these songs, the music's really fun. It's really upbeat. It's really like catchy. It's really like, it's kind of funky, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, no, there's a lot of like fun elements to this, and especially, and the hooks are definitely a big part of that fun in this particular song for sure. But the second verse, the third verse, I believe, is me. And I go
back to back.
Yeah, so I go straight into this, and I say, divert your eyes, or truth is brighter than the sunshine. Wide open, see the inside of a gold mine. And it's like when you finally start to, for a long time, I was fully into Matrix 2. You know what I mean? I was probably telling my late 20s that I started to like actually just ask basic questions on where I stood on certain things, and then look at what was happening around me and what, you know, was being supported by who and things that I realized I was being lied to. You know what I mean? I realized there were so many different lies that were happening by mostly the media, but, you know, a lot of different facets of, you know, society, you know, didn't, you know, ring true once you start to just be an actual observer of life. You know, when you stop watching the elephant parade, when you stop taking in the elephant parade and just, but it's like gold. It's like finding gold. It's like a breath of fresh air and like a weight lifted off your chest, and you're finding that, oh my God, like I realized like why, you know, this, you know, I realized that this, you know, this facade is now being lifted, you know, and it feels great. Old time jammy jam song plays inside your head like a music box programmed to play the same thing. Sideshow over here. Do you have a ticket? Do you have a minute for the next development? So essentially back to, you know, doing their best to bring you to keep you, like I said, long time. You have to stay long time. They don't want you to just stay for, you know, a month, a year. They want you long time. They want to love you long time.
This is life for life.
That's right, exactly. So, Sideshow over here. Do you have a ticket? Do you have a minute for the next development? How about a message from our sponsor and your overlord telling you to proceed to the nearest death station? Listen to the prompts with your hands at your side. Conveyor belt will drag you to the place you have to die. So, essentially, when you're just a consumer in this matrix and you're just in it, that's pretty much what you are. You're just on the conveyor belt. You're just on the manufacturing line, and you're just headed towards doing your 50 years at your job and getting out of there and heading off towards, you know, towards the end of the conveyor belt, you know. So and then some of you may have seen the movie Soylent Green, but I do a little Soylent Green reference here. Conveyor belt will drag you to the place you have to die. Soylent Green for the rest of us is what you've been all along. Just do what they tell you. Listen here. So Soylent Green, for those of you, I'm not going to spoil it for you. Go watch Soylent Green and find out what Soylent Green is, and then you'll get it. But and then it goes, like I said, you know, just do what they tell you. Listen here. And then I re-go into it. Be, or not to be. Question nothing you believe. Ignore the truth. Cause misery. Go about your day. Rip apart the only piece of everyone around you with your virtue signaling. So it's essentially when you're just believing everything that the Matrix tells you, you're just going to go regurgitate that same shit to everyone else, and you're going to be a spokesman. You're going to be that mouthpiece for the Matrix, and you're going to be that mouthpiece for the establishment. You know, for the establishment that wants us to stay pitted against each other, that wants us to stay poor, that wants us to own nothing and like it. You know, and you know, it's actually kind of a sad thing, you know, that people resign themselves to being not only consumers and watchers and just being resigned to sitting on that couch and enjoying that screen for their entire lives and doing what they tell you. They're not only just being passive, they're actually being active and helping the system along, helping the establishment reach their end goal. You know, reach the goal of distraction. You know,
well, control. Ignorance is bliss.
It is.
You know? And curiosity killed the cat.
It did.
It's a weird saying, right? Curiosity killed the cat. It's like we're all familiar with that, but why do they say that? They don't want you to be curious, you know?
Right.
And from a young age, they want you to know that.
Right.
So then the song goes, and just to note a few of the things that I particularly enjoyed about that verse, you know, is when you have like the line, like a music box programmed to play the same thing, it's like listen to any radio station. It's the same 5 fucking songs over and over and over.
It's the same 3 chord progressions.
And they're agenda driven, you know. There's always something deeper behind the music that they want you to start waving into your life, essentially. And then you pretty much hit it. You know, sideshow over here, do you have a ticket? Like, and then you say, do you have a minute for the next development, which is hilarious to me because it's like, you know,
there's one thing,
because it's like, hey, here's your ticket. Hey, here's the next thing going on. It's like, it's the pace of it is so ridiculous that you'll never be able to catch up with it. You'll just be able to ride a wave of delusion.
Design. Exactly. You know, it's by design. Over here, next thing, you know, you can never grab on to the things that are important because A, they're conspiracies, and B, when was that? It's already gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's already, it's here, it's gone. And, you know, so anyway.
Everyone's attention span is about a mouse click long, you know? So then we go into the the hook. We go into the hook again.
One more time.
Right, the hook one more time. Or not, the hook. And then my verse, which is going to end the song, my second verse.
Right.
It starts, a birth certificate is your ticket to the sideshow. Confirmation sent to your iPhone. No photography allowed inside, though. And the venue has a strict no-fly zone. So I'm just laying the foundation. If you're born in this country, that birth certificate, your social security, you are property of the United States. You're in the system. You're getting indoctrinated at that point, unless you have, you know, parents that don't allow you to be indoctrinated, or you have early on an influence that guides you otherwise, right?
Well, I will say I have seen a number of videos on Donut Operator's channel with sovereign citizens who apparently they don't get their ticket to the sideshow when they're with their birth certificate.
Well, or you could waive it. You can waive it, but then you can't use any kind of social systems. You can't rely on police. You can't call the cops.
But can you waive it though?
No, I mean you can't have any kind of banking. You can't have any kind of insurance. I've watched shows where people essentially will go out and they'll make houses that are fully sustainable out of like mud and tires. Evidently, mud and tires will keep the inside climate perfect, and they have solar and rain keeps. And there's a lot of people that are sovereign like that, you know. But if you're born, that birth certificate, I mean, you need it to do anything. You know, you want to leave this country, you need proof of a birth certificate to get your passport, your social security number. If someone gets your social security number, could they ruin your life? Yes or no?
For sure.
You know, so it's like it's very embedded and important
right.
in how you operate in society and whatnot.
Shout out to Sovereign Citizen Bingo on Donut Operator's channel.
There you go. Yeah, Sovereign Citizen. So basically, the birth certificate, that's how you get in. The confirmation is sent to your iPhone. Is just kind of a tongue-in-cheek joke.
Exactly.
You know, because everything nowadays is, it'll be sent to your iPhone.
You're going to get that in email.
No photography allowed inside because they're not going to let you capture the truth here.
For sure.
You know, the truth is unattainable to capture the way that they're presenting it. So don't even think about trying to capture proof. And then there's a strict no-fly zone, meaning this is just alluding to the level of surveillance, the level of control, all of those things that they have over us, which is pretty underlying throughout the verse. And then all in place to ensure your safety. At least that's what they're claiming. So they're saying it's all for the best. You know, it's all good for you, you know, but is it? What's the underlying motive to control you in such a way? And then momentum becomes maintaining, curiosity becomes complaining. So really, if you get going too hard and you really start doing your own thing, there's really no incentives for most people. You just start maintaining, you know, and then curiosity becomes complaining. If you start questioning things, curiosity killed the cat, right? When you start actually trying to get deep, you're like, stop complaining, stop being crazy, you know?
Stop being a conspiracy theorist. Stop being a Karen.
Most people don't have the mental fortitude to even want to talk about something that's outside of the realm of what they believe. Or like if it contradicts their core belief system, it's hard for them. But that's how we grow. That's how we evolve, right? Is to really examine these things.
100%.
So then now back to the scheduled program. Essentially, that's me within the verse saying, we got a little bit too deep. Let me hit you with some like corny stuff a little bit. Let me mimic what they do, right? Because I was gonna get a little bit deeper on it per se, but now back to the scheduled program. The law bows down for no man, meaning that you don't have the freedom you think you do. The law is in charge. Shit's lit. Enjoy the show, fam. Another somewhat tongue-in-cheeky. Poke a couple holes into the Coke can. Obviously, Coca-Cola is fucking horrible for you. It's delicious, and I love it, but it's poison, you know, that like they want you to drink and they promote at all the sports events. And also, people used to smoke crack cocaine out of, I don't want, you know, it's not smoking weed out of a Coke can. It's more smoking crack out of a Coke can, which you shouldn't smoke anything out of a Coke can. You know, if you can't afford $1 pipe or an apple or something,
bro,
that's a problem.
When you're
no Coke cans.
When you're 16, and I don't think I know anybody who smokes weed and didn't like fold that Coke can in half and poke a couple holes in it and throw the weed on top and try and smoke out of that. I am pretty sure every single person I've ever met has done that at least once in their lives who smokes weed.
We all have, you know, but we all don't aspire to do it all.
I remember those days, and it was never good weed either. It was always terrible weed from Mexico.
No, I mean, but none of us aspire to have that be a regular occurrence in our life. You know, it wasn't like, dude, my preferred way is a Coke can. It was always, always a last resort, you know? It's like drinking Listerine if you don't have alcohol type shit.
It was Coke can, metal pipe, glass pipe, bong.
Apples were always the go-to.
Apple, dude, for sure. And
I used to use carrots even.
And another easy one was a gravity bong because you could just cut the bottom off of a 2-liter or like a milk carton or something like that, you know? Dude, that was always an easy one too.
Fun ways to smoke, dude. But yeah, that was more of a crack, you know, just smoke. Because the whole thing is, again, we're going back. Shit's lit. Enjoy the show. Who really cares about all the fucking reality that's going on behind the scenes? Just fucking poke some holes into a Coke can, man. Smoke some crack. And then if you can't beat them, join them. Be the boss or seek employment. Essentially, you're not going to overtake them, so you might as well join them is the mindset they want you to have.
Jump in.
We should be able to overtake the government. Liberty is the government fearing us. Tyranny is the people fearing the government.
Correct.
And that's why we have the constitutional
Constitution
right
says we the people, not we the government.
To overtake the government if we want, but they don't even want you thinking in those terms.
For sure.
Fuck that, right? What if we all woke up on the same, on the same page? It'd be pretty dangerous out there. But so you could beat them or join them, be the boss or seek employment, meaning you could either work for somebody or you could be the boss and do your own thing, which is very fucking difficult in these times. But some people have the grit to do it. And then the last two lines, the ending of the song before the last hook, all of this is laid out in the fine print. Kind of going back to originally who even reads the fine print, because we know no one's reading it, but all of that's laid out in the fine print, and for your convenience they've already signed it. So now that whole thing, it's when inconvenience or when intrusion becomes convenient, it's like now we're at a point in life, this is foreshadowing that they'll just sign it for you. Who cares? You're not reading it, they're just going to sign it for you. They're going to agree that that's what you're going to do, and you have absolutely
they already do that.
And it's just alluding to you have absolutely no say in the matter unless you were to actually wake up, see it for what it is. It's kind of hard at first,
Right.
It is difficult. It's finding out Santa Claus isn't real,
right,
on a mass level, but you got to do it.
The fuck are you talking about?
Dude, if you're just finding out.
All right, bro.
Yeah.
But no, let me give you an example of what you just said, though. For your convenience, they've already signed it. All right, do you remember, I'm not sure if you remember this, but about a year ago, PayPal tried to instate this thing to instate this clause into like all current open accounts and future accounts that said if you said something on social media that they didn't like or that they deemed offensive, in certain ways, that they would fine you up to $2,500, and they would just take it right out of your account.
Nice.
Just take it straight out of your bank account. Now,
there it is.
That didn't fly, obviously, because people were up in arms about the idea of it even happening. But the fact of the matter that they even tried to pass that thing and fly it up, and it was,
that's pretty wild, dude.
That's what I'm talking about, dude. Like they don't need your permission to do this, to do this shit, dude.
Or, dude, why for like a year could I knock it into my car and it hook up to my Bluetooth without hearing a fucking U2 song, bro? Did that happen to you?
No.
Dude, U2, like, automatically, if you had an iPhone,
They hijacked your car. Oh, I
automatically
heard about
downloaded it onto your phone, and then somehow it became the alarm on my phone. Every time I started my car, it became
Bro.
like what turned on. And just on that note, dude, sometimes I'll get into my car and I'm about to go somewhere, and the GPS will just say recommended destination and where I'm going, and it's like maybe I just thought of going here 20 minutes ago, but somehow the directions are already up and it knows I'm gonna go there. It's wild shit, dude. So we're getting beyond just U2 songs. You know,
Yeah, no
it started
shit.
with U2 songs. Now it's fucking. They're telling me where to go, dude. It's
Yeah.
wild, bro. So and then there's another hook to end the song, and then that's it. But you know, I think this song, aside from being in the moment when the decision was ultimately made, the most maybe pop mass general, you know, public love, whatever the case, the most mainstream sound. But I think just lyrically, it's a great introduction to what is going to be happening on the rest of this project.
Sure.
Because everything is deeper than it seems. Like the Elephant Parade is much deeper than just a couple elephants that were trained to do something, which is already sad in itself. But it's like, you know, I just think lyrically it's amazing. It's pretty tangible. It's not the most like lyrically deep or lyrically coded stuff on the album.
It is fairly tangible. I will say, like a lot of our stuff, I mean, even when it is double entendre coded, you know, very, you know, even if it's more on the poetic side, it's still, I feel like it's still, you know, very directed. You know, I feel like you know, that's how I feel anyway about it.
I feel the same. I do think there's a couple songs that are a little bit more ambiguous than others.
Sure.
But I do
Definitely you're right about that.
You know, but then again, man, we have conversations like I like this song, and then we talk about another song. And it's like, yeah, I think I like that. It's like every song is so rad, so there's no right or wrong order.
Yeah.
I think we put them out.
Nah.
But I'm excited we put this one out first.
Me too.
The music video, it was fun. Again, if you haven't seen it, check it out. But we just went to an arcade.
Yeah.
I thought that on the visual side, that was a dope representation of like, you know, just putting your money in the machine to get these tickets and that ultimately to get nothing. You know, you're never going to make enough tickets to get the grand prize if your mentality is, I need to get more tickets and play the game more. You know what I mean? It's never going to happen. But the visuals were great. I think metaphorically it really sung to the meanings behind the lyrics, and then the art as well. The art, put it up right now if we're able to, but shout out to Kassan. He made us a few pieces for we just want elephants, and the visuals are dope with the fireworks behind the elephant walking away. So shout out to Kassan for that. But yeah, man, I'm stoked that this song is out. I'm stoked at all the feedback that I've personally gotten for it, because we've been working on the project a while. So to finally, you know, see what kind of response it got, and for it to match, if not exceed, what I was, you know, anticipating is great. But yeah, dude, do we have any inkling of what the next song is gonna be, dude?
You know, I've been thinking about that myself. I don't know. No, you know, I'm kind of teetering back and forth on maybe Funky Monkey or Duck Duck Goose. Both of those I feel like are very commercial. They have very commercial sound. I think Duck Duck Goose has a really like funky, you know, like guitar riff in it, and I think that it's the message in that one, because that one's about the drug trade.
That one is straightforward.
Yeah, that one's
there's
like,
no coding, no nothing.
It's pretty nuts.
The topic demanded for just transparency throughout, I think, on the lyrical side, and like, you know, I love that track. We'll talk more about it when we make the podcast.
Absolutely.
For it. But yeah, that's a great track.
Yeah, so I'm thinking either that one or Funky Monkey. But I mean, I'm not really married to releasing one or the other, or either of those. You know, so if you know something, you know, comes up, and we decide that we have great idea for a music video for one of the other ones. We do have a couple of really good ideas for 2 of the songs for music videos already, but they will take some doing. One of them is going to be fairly cinematic. Actually, both of them will be fairly cinematic. But one of them is kind of a post-apocalyptic kind of an idea that we'll have to kind of like have some locations and stuff for. So we'll get it done. That's for our newest song we just did called "Fly in the Spaceship." And
that's like the dopest part, man. To do a song that demands, like when we first did "You're the Water Dragon," which was like the catalyst track that led into the project. But I thought, man, like I want to see a whole like opera of this,
bro.
I need like an hour of just like cinematic music like this, because it was so much bigger than a lot of the tracks that are out there that people might be listening to and vibing with. It's such an experience, but yeah, I mean,
you're right about that, but a lot of that has to do with that we are multi-genre. We are kind of tackling this from angles that you just don't hear a lot of musicians doing today. We're merging a lot of different styles of music together to do this project, and it's because of that also that I feel like it has a real originality to it, and I feel like that originality, along with the fun pacing of the songs and the really thoughtful and thought provoking and deep meaning lyrics. All of that together makes this for a really, and then like the super fun and like anthemy hooks. It kind of like I don't know. Like I said, to me it felt like there was some magic to it, which is obviously why we did more than just one song. We got together to decided to put together this full length album. So yeah.
I think it's just a fun mix, man. It's like the kind of backing music that you would expect on songs on the radio or like songs in movies, like really popular songs, and the lyrical content that some people would deem as like maybe too underground, or they would deem as like weirdos make that music, So it's like, I like the idea of, presenting this final version of music that's very palatable to listen to on the harmonic and sonic side. And then just, if you don't really care about the depth of lyrics, you'll have fun listening to it because it's fun. And if you do, it's going to be just, you can listen to songs probably 5-6 times. That's the goal, and to have you experience something new every time. But yeah, I think,
and it really is an experience too. Like this, like listening to this, it really is an experience. It's not just like, oh, this is a cool song. It's like fuck, this is like just new. It's like all kinds of stuff is hitting you sonically, and so it's like you said, it's it takes 5-6 times sometimes to listen to one of these songs and kind of get everything out of it that you might be looking for out of the song. So
and even some of them, and we'll talk about those as they come. But when I write, I have an open perception of my own lyrics as I write. They can go in many ways. So you could listen to it one day in a certain mood and get something from it, and the next day listen to it in a different mood, and you could take something else away from it. So I'm stoked to be putting music out like that.
Absolutely.
But I think cool, man. I had a good time going over this track.
Absolutely.
Again, make sure you check out the music video, animalplanettunes.com.
Link in the description.
Eddie Booz. Man, go check out eddieBooz.com, dude. The fucking all the music on your website. And like you were saying, you said you make music because you want to listen to it.
Sure.
I could always tell when that's a musician's end goal is to have music they want to listen to, because it's always just so fucking amazing, and you could so many different genres of music that you do that's fucking, it's always on point, dude. If you're gonna make hip hop, it's gonna be the dopest hip hop.
Thanks, dude.
You showed me a song earlier that's more like hard rock, metal, punk, whatever. Yeah. It's like the dopest version of that music.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
So that's the best kind of mindset, dude. Make music that you want to hear. Make art that you want to appreciate.
Absolutely.
It'll be the best.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. You can go check my stuff out on eddieBooz.com. Actually, my brand new album is out, and it's free to download on my website if you want to like download the zip file to your phone or your your device, or you can just listen to my stuff. It's on Spotify as well. All kinds of different genres. I'm just now re-releasing all of my old albums, including my old hip hop album, including the punk stuff, the halftone stuff, all my singer-songwriter albums. I'm releasing all of those for free free on my website as well, and you can hear those on Spotify. They'll be kind of coming up like one at a time over the next like week or so. But there's like 4 or 5 albums already up there on Spotify and Apple Music and whatever you guys listen to your stuff. So I appreciate it. Go listen to my stuff. I also write music for film and television. Go check out my movies. Got some stuff, all over the place on streaming and all kinds of different places. So yeah.
Well, make sure to comment and share the link.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Oh, the irony. Appreciate everybody watching.
All right, you guys. I'm Eddie Booze.
I'm Jared.
We're Animal Planet. We're going to be releasing a couple more of these episodes to come. Thanks for joining us, and have a wonderful night, you guys. Take care.
Peace.
Carnivals and kerosene. Don't think, just stare at the screen. Cover your eyes for the scariest scenes. If it's funny, comment and share the link. If your Wi-Fi is on the internet screen, just watch out for the new high interest fees. And not the whole number and decimal thing. If you can't see, better get your spectacles clean. Once intrusive becomes convenient, next is to dictate how you perceive it. Who even reads the fine print agreements? We just want elephants and bags of peanuts. What started in the coliseums happens today in the sports arenas. But no need to go out and watch from the bleachers. The chip they implant has a media feature.
Parade the elephants and dance them all around. Coliseum show, yes please admit 3. Carnage for your thirsty heart, you pay to watch them bleed. Cheer, yell, scream, everybody's on their feet. Now throw somebody to the wolves already. How about the lions or the bulls? Maybe watch them duel. Get your snacks, get your gobbles, watch the spectacle of what they wanna show us. It's a circus written for us. Look over here, this is what you wanna see. Forget the truth before your eyes, listen to me. They tell us the important stuff is all conspiracies. It's a dream, pitch yourself into reality. Be or not to be. Question everything you see, hold it under scrutiny. Microscope the situation till you know for sure. Square in the square hole, circle in the scheme.